You are watching this video right now because something fundamental is already shifting deep within you. This is no coincidence, no mere fate, and no algorithm that has accidentally led you here. You have been called to receive this transmission at this exact moment because your entire reality is about to rearrange itself in such a radical way that it will take your breath away. What you are hearing now is the final, crucial step before the great leap, the final test before your true awakening. You have sought refuge. You have felt the atmosphere around you grow heavier, denser, almost oppressive. What if I told you that the most powerful weapon against this energetic density is right there in your kitchen? A substance the ancients revered as white gold, not for its taste, but for its frequency. Salt is not a spice. It is a crystalline reservoir that neutralizes chaos. In the modern world, we've forgotten what matter truly is. We see objects, we see food. But at the quantum level, everything is vibration. Everything is energy that is slowed down to a certain density. There exists a frequency that has a cleansing effect. A vibration so stable that it can absorb and neutralize dissonant energies, what we call bad luck, curses, or negative auras. This frequency manifests itself in the crystalline lattice structure of salt. Our ancestors in Germany knew this. They didn't call it quantum physics, they called it tradition. But the principle remains the same: the universe doesn't react to words, but to frequencies. And salt is the ultimate frequency anchor. Today we open the files of forbidden knowledge. We look behind the veil of traditions, from the legions of Rome to the deep forests of Germania, and unlock the energetic technology of salt. You will learn how to seal your home, your mind, and your field. Why salt? Why not sugar, flour, or soil? To understand this, you must stop thinking like a human and start feeling like the field. Salt, chemically sodium chloride, forms an ionic lattice structure. It is a perfect cube. In sacred geometry and energetic architecture, the cube represents absolute stability, earth, and manifestation. Unlike organic substances, which decompose and change their structure, salt remains constant. It possesses an inorganic intelligence. When you introduce salt into a room, you bring order to chaos. Imagine your home as an aquarium. Every emotion, every argument, every visitor, every thought leaves energetic residue in the water. Over time, this water becomes cloudy. You feel tired, drained, irritable, without knowing why. You're breathing in old emotions. Salt acts as a filter here. Due to its crystalline structure, it has the ability to magnetically attract these heavy ions, these dark frequencies, and trap them within its lattice. It doesn't simply erase the information, it binds it. It takes on the burden so that your field can breathe again. This isn't magic in the childish sense. This is energetic hygiene. This is quantum mechanics on a macro level. Change happens when you stop searching and start allowing, and salt allows space to return to its zero-point state. We must look back to remember. It's not learning, it's remembering. You add nothing, you remember frequencies that have always been yours. Consider the Roman legions. The word salary, our modern concept of pay, comes from the Latin salarium, the soldier's salt ration. Historians will tell you that salt was valuable for preserving meat. That's the material truth. But the spiritual truth lies deeper. A soldier who went to war was exposed daily to death, blood, and the massive trauma of the battlefield. These energies clung to the aura. Salt was not just currency, it was a shield. It was the means to keep the spirits of the fallen at bay, to cleanse the soul before returning to civilian life. Take a mental journey to Japan, to the Shinto tradition. Before a sumo wrestler enters the ring, he throws salt. Why? To cleanse the ground. To drive away evil spirits. To create a sacred space where only pure strength counts. You know what we forgot? Matter can be programmed through consciousness and crystalline tools. And here, in German tradition, deeply rooted in ancient pagan customs, we find the same patterns. Salt on the newborn's tongue to ward off demons. Salt in the coffin to free the soul from earthly burdens. It was never superstition. It was an intuitive science of vibration. Our ancestors didn't have Geiger counters or oscilloscopes, but they had second sight. They saw how the light of the salt consumed the shadows. But knowledge without application is merely philosophy. Readiness is the frequency that transforms potential into reality. How do you use this tool today? How do you shield your home from the onslaught of modern energy density? Behind the scenes, everything is moving towards a cleansing. And you can speed up this process. First, the threshold. Your front door is not just a physical entrance. It is a portal between the outside world, the collective chaos, and your inner sanctuary. Use coarse sea salt. Not chemically treated free-flowing salt, but salt that still carries the information of the primordial ocean. Sprinkle a thin line under your doormat or wash the threshold with salt water. Speak with presence. Only frequencies of love and light may cross this boundary. You are programming the crystal. You are setting a guardian. Secondly, the body as a temple. You absorb other people's fears every day. On the train, in the office, in digital media. These foreign energies cling to your subtle body like tar. A salt bath is like a reset button. The water conducts, the salt neutralizes. As you step into this water, visualize everything that doesn't belong to you being drawn out of your pores and bound in the salt. The secret isn't in adding something, but in taking away what's wrong. When you get out of the bath, you feel lighter. Your frequency is raised. Thirdly, the corners. Energy stagnates in corners. Energetic dust accumulates there. Place small bowls of salt in the four corners of your room. Leave them there. They work passively, like energetic air filters. But beware, this is the most important part, which most people overlook. Salt absorbs the negative charge. It stores it. If you leave a bowl of salt standing for weeks, it becomes radioactive, in a spiritual sense. It is saturated with the density it has drawn from your space. You must never eat the salt. You must not touch it and then touch your eyes. It is toxic waste on a subtle energy level. When you renew the salt, thank it for its service. And then, return it to the earth or wash it away. Give it to the element of water so that it can be transformed. Don't just carelessly throw it in the trash where it will remain in the house. It needs to leave the house. The velvet has no doubt that it will become a tree. It doesn't plan, it doesn't measure, it trusts the intelligence that created it. You must act the same way. Trust that the salt will do its work. You don't need to control how it cleanses. You only need to set the intention. We live in a time of great transition. The old defense mechanisms are failing because the Earth's frequency is rising. But salt is timeless. It is the crystalline basis of life itself. By consciously using salt, you reclaim sovereignty over your own energy field. You cease to be a victim of circumstances or the whims of others. You become the guardian of your own temple. Everything you have been seeking has been seeking you. This protection, this knowledge, this purity, they have always been there, hidden within a simple white grain. It is time to see the ordinary things once again for what they are, tools of the cosmos. If you feel this frequency, subscribe to Quantum Frequency and join the awakened. Every click amplifies the field and contributes to collective change. Thank you for your light and your presence. From now on, you are not just a spectator. You are part of the change. Welcome to Quantum Frequency.